so with the business that he launched, he made executive jet travel accessible and affordable for thousands and thousands of people around the world. And he wrote this best-selling book called Launch, which is on the right-hand side of your page, where he shares about his experiences and he teaches others around the world how to do the same. Here's a clue, team. I read his book twice last year before launching inCruises. And so it was a Bible for me, if you will, in what we've put together step by step, and so I highly recommend it. Scott is now partnered in his latest venture with Inc. Magazine. And so this is his new company called Content.Market, and he launches with Inc. Magazine a step-by-step guide on how to grow companies, and he's going to launch that on May 1st. And last thing I'll just tell you about Scott is that we met in our Tony Robbins days. He has a beautiful wife, Rachel, two gorgeous daughters. They live in Newport Beach, California. Scott, welcome. Glad to have you on. Appreciate you being here.
Bro, it's awesome to be here.
Thank you. We can hear you perfectly. I know that you're on your way to the airport, but talk to us. What's going on in your life? Tell us where you are and what you're focused on.
Well, I'm actually headed up to Seattle right now. We're going to film early next week for Microsoft's Small Business Academy, which is, if you haven't watched Small Business Academy, check it out on YouTube. It is an awesome set of courses on launching and growing really cool companies. And so yeah, so that's what I'm up to today.
What are some of the main points, from the book Launch, Scott? Maybe share with us, one or two, great stories, fun stories, and then just wrap it up with a couple of key points for us.
Sure. Well, I've spent as you mentioned earlier, I've spent my entire life in launches and working kind of at a very early stage. Is that me? Okay. So I've spent. Hey, Mike, do you hear that ringing? Is that me or is that? Okay, so I've spent my entire life living in launches, and from a very early stage, typically one of the first couple of people involved in businesses, and most of the companies I've been a part of have been consumer internet businesses, but I work with all kinds of companies today, and I think that what I've learned. What I've learned is that launching a successful company, 75% of it has absolutely nothing to do with business. 75. Hey, by the way, if anyone's on and they haven't muted, would you mind muting your phone? Awesome. Thank you. So what I've learned is that 75% of being successful in a launch really has very little to do with business. 75% of launches are really all about learning how to manage our money properly through a launch. Building the right MVP and finding product market fit in a launch. Being on the same page as the people around us, being involved in a great environment, learning how to manage the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. The other 25%, the business stuff, is a lot easier to teach. And so that's pretty much what we talk about. And I'll say I think one of the most inspirational stories that I've heard or been a part of as it relates to launches is a couple of years ago I had time to spend with Richard Branson at his home on Necker Island, and I remember when I got there, I was so excited to be there, and on the first night when it was time for dinner, what he did is he asked everyone to go down to this beach, and there was this barbecue thing. And I remember grabbing my plate, looking for a place to sit, and I sat right down next to him, and he was on the phone, and he was negotiating a deal, and he was just so passionate. And I remember asking him, because it seemed like everybody else around us knew what it was he was trying to buy. And so when he got off, I said, Richard, I'm just curious, what is it? What do you want to buy? And he said this, the rainforest. And I'm like, what? The rainforest? Which one? And he said, the Amazon rainforest. Because I guess if you're going to buy a rainforest, you should probably buy the biggest one. And then I remember saying what I guess I thought everyone else was thinking, which was, that's impossible. And by the way, I mean, Mike, you and I worked together with Tony Robbins, right? You know, you never say to a guy like Tony or Richard Branson something's impossible. And I remember he looked at me dead in the eye and he said, you want to learn how to buy a rainforest? I'll teach you how to do it. And here's what he said. He said, look, whenever we start a company, or so there's ever something we want to accomplish, you always have to start with your why. And the reason is, you know, building a successful company is hard. You know, there's ups and downs, there's highs and lows. And if we're not truly connected to our purpose, why we're doing this thing, when stuff gets hard, it's too easy to quit. So his why was he wanted to stop deforestation, and he wanted to protect all the indigenous animals. So now that we knew the why, the question is, how are we going to do it? And he said this. He said, if that's our why, do we actually have to buy the rainforest and purchase it, or could we lease it? Now, to me at the time, that was like a huge shift. And then he said, look, he said, if we could get a willing seller in the room with me, do you think I could negotiate a good deal? And I said, Richard, I bet on you. So then came number 3. And by the way, this is where most entrepreneurs get stuck in their launches. He said, how are we going to pay for it? And I remember that what he did is he kind of went around the people in the circle around us, and they were all throwing out names of people in his circle that were worth like tons of money, $1 billion or more, and said, well, maybe these people contribute. And Richard raised his hand and he said this, what if it didn't matter if you contributed $1 or a dime, effectively crowdsourcing buying a rainforest? And here's the point. In 5 minutes, buying the rainforest seemed easier than like eating my bowl of soup. And I think that what I learned in that moment is if you have the right mindset, the right people, and you put the right resources around you, you can achieve virtually anything that you dream.
That's beautiful. So I've often said and shared with our team that same idea, Scott, that 80% of everything that you do is mindset, and 20% is the execution. And we're going through our own rainforest right now. We've gone through the last 30, 60, 90 days of launching a business, and people still haven't used our product yet. People still haven't gotten on ships. And that's why I'm so grateful for you telling that story. Would you also tell the story about, you shared with me looking at, or at least Sir Richard sharing with you his journal and the goals that he set for himself. Do you mind talking to us about that, please?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I remember one day we were in a meeting and I was sitting next to him, and at that time Richard he had this red journal. It was like a big red book, and it's probably 2 or 3 inches thick. And he carried it with him wherever he went, and that's where he wrote down all of his notes. And what he did is he put his goals on the inside flap at the front and the end of the book. He wrote them down, and then he would just kind of measure his progress. But what was so inspiring was thinking about my goals, like day-to-day versus like his goals were things like, going to space, touching the bottom of the sea, like whatever they were. To most people, they seem so outrageous. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter what the size of the goal is. The way that you achieve the goal is always the same. It doesn't matter how big it is. And it's really to chunk it down into bite-sized pieces. Things that you can nail one at a time. And, you nail this and then you move to the next. And I think that the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make is they focus on too many things at one time. And I call this hammers and nails syndrome. And basically what it means is this. It means if I gave you one hammer and one nail, and your job's simple, all you have to do is bring that hammer back and like nail that, like really nail that one business. Now, the odds are you'd miss the first time, you'd miss the second. But eventually I'm going to bet that you're going to nail it. So let's say I give you 2 hammers and 2 nails. You have a problem. You have to hold both hammers. Who's going to hold the nails? Now, let's say you find somebody crazy enough to do it. You have to bring both hammers up at the same time, and you have to strike. And the odds are you're going to miss the first time, the second, the third. You may never get it right. Let's say you give you 10 hammers and 10 nails. You get the point. So what I say during the launch is this. Don't focus on everything. Focus on one thing. And it shouldn't be the hardest. It should be the simplest, what we call the minimum viable product. Get the most basic version of what it is that you want to do built. Get it into customers' hands as fast as you can. Let them use it and play with it. Get feedback, and then iterate based on what you learn. And in terms of what do we build next, well, don't try and decide yourself. Instead, have your paying customers or the users that are testing, have them tell you what you should do.
It's awesome. I want you to tell a couple more Sir Richard stories, if you don't mind, brother. I remember when you were, the day before launching up in New York, about to go on air in studio, and Richard came up with an idea to create some publicity for your business launch. Can you tell us that story?
I will, and you know I never tell that story. So I will tell this for you. So what happened, bro? So here's what happened.
I apologize.
So here's what happened. What happened was, so the way most people launch is you launch and you kind of do it under the radar, so that when you go out, in case certain things don't work or it's not quite right yet, you can fix it. And by the way, just one more time, can you guys, if you haven't already, throw your phone on mute? Please put your phones on mute. Put your phones or your computers on mute. All right, thanks. So what happened was, we were getting ready for our launch, and instead of going under the radar, that wasn't Virgin's thing. They wanted to go super big. So what we did is we threw a launch party. Now here's the crazy thing. Richard flew. He had launched a company in India, got on a plane, flew to the United States, landed in the morning, cleaned up in the plane, and then was ready for us. We did a whole day's, or most of the day's worth of interviews and all that kind of stuff. A launch party. We finished at 2:33 in the morning. We were going to launch live the next morning on CNBC in studio. And I remember thinking, how can this guy do it? So anyway, we get to the studio, and we're in this little green room. So picture being in this little room, and in the center of the room there's a TV, a small little TV, and we're both watching it. And I'm so nervous, because I'm just an entrepreneur like you guys, and I just wanted to do a good job. I was intimidated sitting next to him, because he was my hero, and I'm just trying to remember what I'm supposed to say. So I'm looking at this TV, and Richard leans into me, and he says, "Hey, Scott." I said, "What?" He said, "I got a problem." I said, "What?" He said, "I don't think you're doing a good enough job with this launch." He said, "I don't think that you're doing a good enough job getting a promotion for what we're doing." And my stomach fell to the floor. I was like, "Richard, what are you doing?" He said, "No, Scott." He said, "I never, ever have to do this, but I'm going to have to step in. Give me just a second. Let me work on it." A couple minutes later, leans in me and Scott. I said, "What?" He said, "I got it." I said, "What are we going to do?" He said, "Here's what we're going to do. You and I are going to do a wing walk." I'm like, "A wing walk? What's that?" I said, "It's really cool." He's like, "You're going to stand on one wing of an airplane, and I'm going to stand on the other wing of an airplane." And he said, "And we're going to hold a Virgin banner between us." And he said, "Here's how it works." He said, "You're going to have these metal boots around you, so you're going to be locked in. So because I promise, if there's turbulence, you won't fall off." And he said, "But here's the thing. I'm going to give you a diaper in case you shit yourself." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "No, don't worry, I got it." He tells everybody in the room, they're like, "Great idea." I'm terrified. A couple minutes later, he leans into me and says, "Hey, Scott," he says, "I don't know if we're going to be able to get that stunt plane in time. So I've got a better idea." I said, "What's that?" He said, "You and I are going to skydive." I'm like, "We're going to do what?" He said, "We're going to skydive today into Manhattan." I said, "Richard, how do you?" He said, "Don't worry." I said, "Well, Richard, I've never done that before." He said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "The cool part is we're going to go tandem. You'll be on my back, and we'll use a Virgin chute." He said, "I'll get you more publicity you could imagine." I said, "Really?" He said, "But here's the thing." He said, "I've never done it before either, so we should probably jump out and practice one first so I know where to pull that thing to make the chute come out." And I'm like, no way. So I'm like so nervous at this point that I literally stood up and thought I was going to get sick. And I darted to the bathroom, and they stopped me and said, no. They said we don't have enough time. You guys have to get on set. Anyway, we do our thing. We're on our way back to New York. We're in a car. He's in the front. I'm behind him with some other people. And I'm absolutely terrified because I don't know which one we're going to do that day. Supposedly, we're driving to one of these activities. Then what he did is he turned around and he looked at the people sitting next to him. They all start high-fiving. The driver high-fives. He says to Scott, give me a high five. I said, what's this for? He said, hey, Scott, he said, here's the thing. It's all just a big joke. He said, everybody has been in on it the entire day. This is just my way of breaking you in. So that is my craziness story that I never tell about Richard Branson and our launch day. So I think, one other thing, as it comes to launches I've learned is, Hutch, I'll just, if you don't mind, I'll just keep going, is I think that one of the biggest lessons I ever got about launching came from Howard Schultz, who was the CEO of Starbucks at the time. And I'm a huge Starbucks fan. Like, I'm one of those guys, I'm in the store every day, I'm grabbing a coffee. And I really respect Howard as an entrepreneur. So I remember I had a chance to work an event with him, and I was so excited to meet him and to learn. So anyway, he does his speech, and when he was done, I just remember I was like so disappointed. I felt like it was just like a corporate press release. And when it was all finished, they did Q&A. And the last person to get up, he said, Howard, he said, I got to tell you, I've been so looking forward to coming tonight. He said, I'm a big fan of yours, and I love you. But if there's one thing that I've learned tonight about you, it's this, that I am nothing like you. He said, because tonight, when you were talking about going through hard times as an entrepreneur, you had $1 billion in your pocket. When everybody else in this room, all 300-400 other entrepreneurs, when we're talking about tough times, we're trying to figure out how to make payroll and feed our families in the same week. And so he said, Howard, I love you, I respect you, but I guess I'm nothing like you. And he just turned around and sat down, like there was no question. And I remember in that moment, I became Howard Schultz's biggest fan. Because he stood up, he'd been sitting, stood, walked across the stage. He said, I'm exactly like you. Let me tell you a story. You see, when he was a young guy, when Howard Schultz was a young guy, he actually was a salesman out of New York. He used to sell coffee machines. And on a sales call to Seattle, he met the guys. He called on the first Starbucks store at Pike Place, and he met the team. He met the family, all those guys. And he fell in love with the city, and he fell in love with the store, and he decided to ask for a job. And they hired him as the marketing guy. And Howard had this big idea. His idea was he wanted to take he wanted to create an espresso bar in the store. And the thing is, they didn't like the idea, and they said no. And Howard, he ended up leaving the company. And he was so frustrated and angry or whatever, he decided that he was going to compete. He was going to come up with his own coffee thing. And so he started his own company, and he went to work. And then one day he got a call. And the call was from his father-in-law. And his father-in-law said this. He said, Howard, he said, I love you and I respect you. But here's the deal. We have a problem. He said, my daughter, your wife, is 7 months pregnant. And she's 7 months pregnant, and she's still at work, and she's the only one bringing in a paycheck. And it's been that way for over a year. Maybe it's time, Howard, just respectfully, that you put this dream of yours on pause for a little while and go find a job. And Howard, he was so he just I guess, and he ended up, he took his keys, he left early, went home, and that night he saw his wife Sherry, and he said to Sherry, he said, I think it's time for me to kind of hang it up here. and I'm going to quit, and I'm going to go tomorrow morning, and I'm going to look for work. And in that moment, Sherry gave what I call like the Rocky speech. It's like when Adrian pumps up Rocky before the big fight. And she says, look, Howard, that's not just your dream, it's our dream. And that's not just your vision, it's our vision. And if it takes all night to figure it out, well, then that's what we're going to do. And they did. And what I learned in that moment was this, that the most important, I used to always think I was the most important person in the companies that I started. And what I learned is the most important person in every company is not me and it's not you. The most important person in every company is the person you come home to or the environment that you go back to. And the thing is, the people that we come back to, they've got the lousiest job of all. Because as entrepreneurs, being an entrepreneur can be a really lonely job. You know, sometimes we're solopreneurs, we're doing it on our own. Sometimes we have investors or teams and we don't want to talk to them about our problem. So we come home, we've held it inside, and at 10 o'clock at night, we just vent to whoever's there. Now, we feel great because we got it off our chest, and we sleep like a baby. But those people, what they do is they lay awake all night with one eye open, and they're worried about us feeling sick. And so what I learned is this, that there's 3 ways that you need to manage your relationships with what I call not your CEOs, but your CVOs, your Chief Venting Officers. And the way you do it is this. Number 1, you need to make sure that you're on the same page with regard to how much time and how much money you're willing to give to this thing. And I've learned I would rather risk less and be on the same page as my person at home versus risk more and have them always nervous and in knots. The second thing is you need to understand what their communication strategy is. And what that means is some people want to know the blow by blow. They want to know everything about what's going on in this business. Other people, that's way too much. And so what you have to do is learn how much to give to those people and when. And then finally, I learned from my wife Rachel that the way that you spell love with an entrepreneur is T-I-M-E. You probably will have very little free time as an entrepreneur. You'll probably spend more time on your business than anything else. But the thing is, when you are present, you have to truly be present. And that's the key. Touch you there.
Scott, apologies. I was taking notes. I was making sure I was getting all that down. Can you hear me now?
I got you, brother.
Okay, so I was taking notes. All right, listen. Two more nuggets. Share with this team the importance of taking care of yourself from a physical standpoint, please.
Are you asking me about physical standpoint?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well. So here's the deal. So I think that I'll tell you a story. When the market was completely melting down in 2008, I had actually been in a Virgin CEO meeting on Necker Island, and on the way out, because everyone was trying to figure out what to do, right? And I remember it was the fall of 2008. As we were leaving, we were at this little airport. You had to go to this little airport to get out to get to commercial airport, and I was standing on the runway, and I went and I said goodbye to a guy named Steve Ridgway, and Steve is the iconic 20-year-plus CEO of Virgin Atlantic. And I said, Steve, I need a nugget because things are really tough right now. And I said, because like you're in the commercial aviation business, like I don't know a person that has more pressure on them than you right now. I said, what is the most important part of your job? What's the number one thing I need to focus on, the most important part of your job? And he said this, exercise. And I was like, I'm surprised he said exercise. And he looked at me dead in the eye and he said, I'm disappointed that you're surprised. And that was it. And then I walked over to my plane and I sat down next to David Cush. David Cush is the CEO of Virgin America. And I said, David, I just had the craziest conversation with Steve. I asked him, I said, what's the most important part of your job right now? Because I figure it's going to be like team building or communication or raising money. And he looked at me dead in the eye and he said, that's easy, exercise. And two different guys, the top of their industry in the craziest time. And what I learned is this. What I learned is that when times are tough, you need to be the toughest person in the room. And you can't be that person if you're not taking care of yourself. And your team, and your family, and whatever, all these people are going to be depending on you. And so if you really need to make a breakthrough in your business today, if things are stuck, if you feel a hell of a lot of pressure, whatever it is, get away from the computer and go to the gym. And by spending just a little bit of time and blowing off that steam, you will make yourself stronger and better prepare yourself to take things on. It's interesting because when you take a look at Napoleon Hill, who wrote probably the first book on personal development, right? Think and Grow Rich. And what he did is he went for 20 years and he chronicled the most successful people in the world over a 20-year period. And then he wrote one book that was the habits of basically all of those people. And this started in 1908, so this is at the beginning kind of the 1900s. And so there's this formula, and if you follow the formula, now here's the thing. Today, if you went and you were to write a modern-day version of that, one of the things that I find that is the most common trait in the most successful people is they all work out in the morning. They all do. They all start their day with a workout. I mean, I find this across the board. They work out. In fact, if you study their mornings, they typically all wake up around 4:30 in the morning, and they all work out in the morning, and it's one of the most common things. Sumner Redstone, at 90 years old, works out 90 minutes a day.
Wow. Okay. All right. Awesome stuff. Brother, I know you're on a tight schedule. Any parting words of wisdom? I know that you've got to catch a flight, but anything else that you'd like to share with this team?
I would say that
I was just going to say, we're excited that Sir Richard just announced, Virgin Cruises, and we're going to be a big customer of Virgin Cruises in the next, next many years. They launched their first ships. I know that you've got, ties at the executive level with that group. But again, this is a group that's just now going to start to experience our product, after 6 months, starting in July and August timeframe. So any parting words of wisdom, and then again, we'll give a big shout out to you. Awesome stuff.
Awesome. I would say this. I would say that if there was only one lesson, if I could only have one tool in my bag to be a successful entrepreneur and launch something successfully, if there was only one single thing I could do, it would be this. It would be to say thank you. That's it. The two most important words for every entrepreneur are thank you, and here's why. Being an entrepreneur can be really doggone hard. The day is filled with ups and downs and highs and lows. It doesn't matter if you're dead broke or worth billions of dollars, it is the same exact thing. And what the most successful people have done is they've learned how to basically take those highs and lows, and they've learned how to program their minds in a way that kind of eases out the storm, right? They like smooth things out. But here's the thing. Here's the power of thank you. For the last 7 months, every single day, I've had an alarm set on my phone at 7:30 in the morning, and I have another one at 7:30 at night. And my wife has the same alarm set. Okay, I even programmed it so when it comes up, the screen says thank you. And what happens is we are supposed to say 2 things that we're thankful for. So it doesn't matter where I am in the world or what I'm doing. We either talk on the phone or we text or we FaceTime or whatever. Our kids are required to do it also. We have two girls, a 6 and a 7-year-old girl. So my wife. But here's what happens: doesn't matter what's going on in your life, when you say thank you and you force yourself to come up with reasons why, what you start to do is program your mind to focus on all the things that you have versus what you don't have. And sometimes as an entrepreneur launching, it's easy to get focused on what I don't have today. What this does is it gets you to focus twice a day on what you do have. And when you do that, every single day you build momentum. And you will be surprised. Before you know it, your mindset will be so powerful. You'll come from a place of having resources versus feeling lack, and it will completely change your business. 2 words, thank you.
That's awesome. You're so amazing. Okay, brilliant. All right, brother. Listen, I know you need to run. So again, those that joined the call late, this has been Scott Duffy, the CEO and founder of Content.Market, the best-selling author of Launch. I read the book twice before launching last year. Highly recommend his materials. Go to his site, Content.Market. And now I'd like to just give everybody the permission to come off your muted line and just say thank you to Scott. Scott, just hear from everybody here. Just say on behalf of the entire team, we appreciate you, love you amazingly. Have a safe trip, and again, come off mute and just say thanks to Scott, everybody.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you from New York.
Thank you, Scott.
What's up, man?
Amazing.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Okay, brother. Appreciate it.
Bye, Hutch. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, gang. All right. Let's jump into the meeting. Was that good or what? Was that good or good?
Awesome.
And Scott,
Okay.
it was amazing.
Yeah. So just know that that's the caliber of executive advisors that our executive team leans on for decisions that we're making. That's the type of leader that saw the vision that we have for inCruises and agreed to become an executive advisor to our company. And so, again, your reference groups, the people that you surround yourself with, are those that have higher standards than you. And again, I've known Scott for 20 years, and I've got a page of notes that I took. And so this call was recorded, by the way, and we'll make it available in the back office. So now what I need everybody to do is go back to muting your lines. Please go back to muting your lines, and we'll jump back into the rest of the call. All right? Thank you for doing that. But that's a gift. That was a great gift from Scott. And that's the caliber of calls that we're going to have on this mastermind. And we're going to mix things up a bit. I'm going to invite you as leaders to take portions of the call and deliver content. I'll take portions of the call and deliver content. And it's all about 5Xing. 5Xing our businesses, 5Xing our lives. And again, I told you from day one that you're part of something much bigger than just a cruise membership club with a compensation plan. And so I hope you get a sense of that each and every day, that we're gonna make a measurable impact in who you are first and foremost as a leader, and then with our customers and our members and everybody that we surround ourselves with. So thank you for that. That was fantastic. And again, if I could get you to all just go ahead and mute your lines. Let me give you just a minute. Okay, awesome. That sounds great. Okay, so let's jump into the part of the presentation. So I have over the last many weeks, led you to know that the focus of our team as partners is for each and every one of you to become membership fee free. That's where we're driving. That's where we're attempting to take everybody to. And we've got 20 leaders in less than 90 days that are membership fee free. And it's not enough. I'm just telling you, it's not enough. There's so many that are on the cusp that have, 3 and 4, and just if you just made one extra call, one extra email, or one extra follow-up, or one extra presentation, you could be in this list of membership fee free. So I'm so thankful and proud of those 20 names that are up here. And the outcome for these mastermind calls is to take it to the next level. In the month of February, I introduced the idea of rock solid plans. So we've now had 90 days in February, March, and April. My expectation is that all rock solid plans will be done on time by the first week in May. And then I've introduced over the last 2 weeks this whole idea of Carefrontation Friday, not to confront, not to put people on the spot, but to focus on results and to develop people, to care for people. And again, if you don't hear from me as a leader, is something that a coach told me early on, as a player, and it's something that stuck with me. He said, Hutch, if you don't hear from me, that's when you need to be concerned. And so if you're a sponsor of people in our business and they've not heard from you, that concerns me, and it concerns the people that enrolled with you. So I just want to make that abundantly clear that as partners, as ambassadors, we have to reach out to people. We've got to talk to people. And these Fridays are Confrontation Fridays, where we're going to be focused in on, specific goals. And so before I do this, I want to quickly just show my screen. And let me see if there's anybody else that I just need to quickly just mute. Okay, all right, so let's do this. Let me just quickly show my screen. And so again, we're in 150 countries in less than 90 days. I'm so proud of you, so excited. And you know me, I want everybody to experience this membership fee free. And now I want to focus on, a leaderboard. I want to show you, what your team is doing. Okay, so this is the company leaderboard. And so again, we have so many, 25, that look how close they are, in the top 25. Lutmio in Spain, Peggy on the West Coast, Rosman spends most of his time in the Philippines, Rob in Florida, Irina in Greece, Faith in South Africa, Mahmoud in Texas, Dr. Stan in the islands, Fernando, Uwe, Alan. All those leaders, they're so close, so close. Well, let's get you guys to be membership fee free. There's 8 days left in this month, 8 days left in the month. By the end of April, and then we rock it. Then we take it to a whole different level. And then again, Alan Schmidt at 7, Steve Bargem at 7, Cole Clifford at 7 partners, Lope in Spain with 8, Jose Feliz with 10, Paul Caswell in Orlando, Bob Ramito, Beverly Hills, Jonathan in Spain, Peter Rumley, has had a couple come through this week, Liz Barris. And so again, I want to emphasize, within the top 25, the minimum is to have 5 partners. And remember, the momentum for your business starts to take off when you have at least 10 partners. That's when you start to become membership fee free. So everybody, at 7, 8, and above, whatever it takes, you got to get there. You guys are so close, on the periphery of making it happen. And then again, Liz Barris, superstar, 13. Gabriel Pena in Texas, 14. Gisela, South Africa, 14. Oscar Castillo, 16. Abel Prieto, 18. And Rob Hawthorne, 51. So proud of all of you. What I want to draw attention to is everybody that's here. Faith is membership fee free. But I'd like to see all those people. Peggy is membership fee free. I'd like to see all those members become membership fee free. And let's get back into the presentation. So I told you that we're going to start to ask leaders, what their goals were and where are they for the month. And so now what I'd like to do is just ask Abel Prieto, who's at the top of the leaderboard. And Abel, can you hear me okay, or is your line off mute?
I can hear you, Hutch. I'm here.
Okay, talk to me. So talk to us. So in the month of April, there's 8 days left. And so I'm putting you on the spot because I care about you. What was your goal on your rock solid plan for the month of April in terms of new partner members, both direct and for your team, please?
Hutch, my goal in terms of directs was I wanted to get a direct a week, 1 new partner member a week, a total of 4. I'm at 2, so I'm halfway there. I'm a little behind the 8 ball, but I'm definitely going to make it happen. I know I am. I got a lot of great activity and people to close coming up in the next few days. And then in terms of team production, I wanted to double-digit recruit, double-digit partner members. Right now, we are at 14 new partners in the team, and about 7 of them are also members. So about 7 partner members so far. So I got 3 to go in the team. But I understand that obviously I got to lead from the front, and I got to get this this personal goal accomplished before the end of the month.
Okay, beautiful. I'm so proud of you. Good job, man. Awesome, awesome. So just some constructive feedback. He's on track. 8 days. You know what? When I was in the seminar days with Tony Robbins, we doubled our enrollments, the last 10% of the time to go. And so now's the time to turn on the afterburners. Now's the time to turn on the juices if you've been waiting. And there's a compelling reason to do so. The new reach system goes away at the end of this month. So anybody that's inside that reach, let's get them through. Let's enable them to make a decision. Get them on the phone with the upline. And then in terms of new members, Abel, and new partners, what were your goals in terms of direct and team leads?
Well, in terms of new members, I wanted to get 4 new members for the month. I'm at 2 because both of those people that I got were also partner members. So I got 2 more to go there. And again, in terms of members for the month, I'm definitely headed for double-digit recruiting. I want to get 10 new members, and I believe that's going to happen. Man. Just putting on the afterburners now in the last week of the month. I understand how sales work. I've been doing it for a long time. And I know that usually that last week of the month, I get a lot more activity and people are closed.
Okay, got it. Abel, share with us 2 nuggets. So Scott shared with us a half hour of nuggets. But give us just 2 nuggets that you are seeing in the field that's working. What could you empower everybody on this call with in terms of an actionable strategy to take their business to the next level?
Hutch, man, you got to connect with your people. You got to communicate with your people. It's more than just sending out an invitation or posting on social media. I've always said that when you post something on social media, it can create interest, but if you really want to create results, then you got to connect with these people. I mean, you got to become their friends on Facebook. You got to message them. You got to, share your Skype ID and try to call them on Skype. Also, don't try to schedule so many calls. Just call people. We live in an environment where it seems like everyone, wants to schedule a call. Nowadays, I just call people, man, whether it be on the phone or whether it be through Skype, and I try to get them, whenever I'm able to get them, and a lot of time that works out. So number 1, you got to connect with your people. And then number 2, man, be excited. Be excited about your opportunity. Be excited about where we're going. The fact that we all have the ability to be here now at the beginning, at the launch of this. We've only been around for 3 months, so show your level of excitement. Light yourself on fire, and people will come watch you burn, man. So you got to be excited, and you got to connect with your people.
Okay, awesome. And then, Abel, have you been able to, do you keep track of the number of presentations that you're delivering and how many people you're in front of, during the month, during the week? And do you have an idea of what your conversion is when you're in front of people delivering a presentation, please?
Definitely, man. That's very important to me. The numbers are everything, man. You got to focus on the numbers, and I'm looking at 1 out of 3. So about 1 out of 3 people that I meet with is getting involved because the opportunity is so great. I think those numbers that's not bad. I mean, we're talking 33%. I've done 6 presentations. From 6, I've gotten 2 direct, so I know that 1 out of 3 definitely works. My goal is to do 10, and what I mean by a presentation, that means I'm either in front of you face-to-face, kneecap to kneecap, so I've done 6 of those, or I'm with you on a private Skype call, for example. So my goal is to do, obviously 12, because I know if I do 12, I'll get my 4, and I've done 6 so far, so I got 6 more to go.
Okay, awesome. And then just, I always, like to just put people on the spot. Those new partner members that you've attracted, how quickly do you see them, referring a new partner member, and how quickly do you see them training a new partner member?
The goal is to get them to get a brand new partner member within their first 7 days. I know a lot of things can happen in a 30-day period, in a calendar month. But my goal is when I'm talking to you, I'm saying, hey, listen, we're going to grow your team by a minimum of 1 in the next 7 days, and then I want to get you registration-free, membership-free within your first 30 days. So that's really my goal when I recruit someone into my business.
Okay, awesome. Okay, brother, any other parting words of wisdom for the team?
Man, just stay plugged in. I plug into you. I share the stuff that you share with me via email. I forward information. I make sure my people get it. Stay plugged into your upline. Know that obviously I'm here to help as many people as I can help, whether you're on my team or not. And man, just connect with your people, but not only your downline, your upline as well. And I appreciate you, man, because you do that for me all the time.
Okay, you got it. Awesome. Okay, Liz Mosqueda, are you on the call? Liz Barris, are you on this call, please?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Welcome. So Liz, you and I have had a number of calls this week talking to some fantastic people. Will, David, Dewan, it just goes on. I'm going to put you on the spot, Liz. What were your goals in your rock solid plan in terms of your directs, number of directs, and then your team goal in terms of new partner members, please?
Okay. My goal is 4 by 4, 4 partners and 4 members as far as personal. And I am at 6 direct members and 1 partner. So I'm a little ahead in one side, but kind of low in the other. But there's no doubt in my mind that I will make it happen. I will get my other 3 partners that I need.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And then Liz, do you track the number of presentations on a daily and weekly basis? Do you know how many people that you're in front of it and what your conversions are?
No, I need to get better at that. I will do that for the month of May. I would be not honest if I said I did. I try to focus my best, and I don't like that word, the word try, on my attitude and my activity. And I do have a minimum of presentations and people that I speak to every day. I want at least and not less than that. And my goal is always 6 to 8. But like said, on a Sunday or if I'm very busy one day, I'm still going to do 1.
Got it. Okay. And if you could just sprinkle, magic dust over this team, what would you like to see everybody on this team doing that you know that works?
Okay, before I do that, I did not tell you my team goal. My team goal is 10 by 10. And the team is doing much better. 9 direct month-to-date members. And but we're behind with the partners. I'm not sure what's going on this month because we do have 19 partners, which we have more partners as a team since the beginning than members. But something's happening this month where the team has 9 members and 2 partners month to date so far. Okay. Might have to do with the fact that I have 6 myself.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. And all right. And tips, as far as the tips, to answer your question, I really truly believe that it starts with our commitment and our focus and our determination to sell out to the company and to your leadership and be 100% positive about the opportunity and what we bring in front of people. And because the only things that we could control is our attitude and our activity. So number 1 is the commitment to what we're doing, and our why. And number 2 is the activity. The activity, the numbers are the numbers, and we cannot beat the numbers, but the numbers could absolutely beat us. So we need to make sure you are a great example that you're busy, you're leading the team. However, you talk to more people than any one of us. So we just got to lead by example and watch you and really focus on our attitudes and our activities.
Okay, got it. Thank you, dear. And then, Liz, in your experience in the last 60, 90 days, how quickly are you enabling your new partner members to enroll and train a new partner member?
Well, my goal is always to have my attitude is like, you're not a recruiter until you recruit someone. In other words, my focus is to get somebody, at least one person immediately, and no less than 1, and I want to get them 3, and of course within the first 90 days, my goal is to get them to be membership free.
Got it. Okay, beautiful. Okay, awesome. Liz, anything else you'd like to share with the team?
Well, I'm really excited. I think I know that we have the best opportunity, bar none. Just like Abel, I've been in business for over 2 decades, and it is exciting to see that we have something that nobody else has out there. It's unique, and we just need to plug into you. Stay, it's kind of like if you're cold and you get close to a chimney, you're gonna get warm, but if you disconnect, you're gonna get cold again, right? So my biggest tip is plug in every week to all the events that you put together that are very valuable. They are and rally their team. We need to rally our teams to do the same. If they were on the coast like we are, they will absolutely be as excited as we are, because there's so much that we give in people. I mean, we're dream givers, truly dream givers. A lot of people want a vacation, but they don't know how to, and we have the answer. And you have done a great job explaining the whole why vacation and how important it is even for people's health. So I'm not going to redo that. But definitely the one thing is just be excited about the opportunity and route.
Is you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. That's awesome. All right. And then let's wrap up this call. Bob, is Bob Ramito on this call, please?
Yeah, I'm here, Hutch.
Okay, Bob. Terrific. So same questions, Bob. When you completed your rock solid plan at the first of the month, there's 8 days left. What were your goals in terms of you direct? And then for your team goals, please, in terms of partner members?
My direct goal was 6 new partner members and 6 new members. Team goal was 12 partner members and 12 team members. And I'm assuming, Hutch, just for clarification, that if somebody is a partner and a member, that qualifies for both, or no?
That absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So at this moment, I am at, for the month, 3 partner members. I'm late for my appointment to sign the 4th partner member this afternoon.
Okay, awesome. Awesome.
So I'm close on that. I'm clear that I'm going to get to the 6th this month. That'll help me get to the income goal for the month as well. The total team partner goal, I'm lagging a little bit there. I was told that I have 2 of my partners that are going to be bringing in members in the next few days over the weekend. So what this has done for me is it made it very clear for me what I have to work on, which is being more clear and holding my direct partner more accountable, and being willing to do that. You know, our product is so good that I think people sometimes are just happy to be a member, even though they're a partner member. They're happy to be a member, and I think I need to be more clear on the front end that, look, this is an opportunity, and I've developed a new belief. I love that question. What do I need to stop doing, and what rituals do I need to create? My new belief is that if somebody gets around me and they become a partner member with me, then they want me to hold them accountable. They want me to lead them, and they want me to push them and stretch them. You know, in some ways, I wish we had a crappy product. So if I needed somebody got on board to be a partner, I'd know they want to make money. Right? So, the strength of our product is so good that I have to keep reminding myself, look, if they showed up in my life and in my world and they became a partner, they want that from me. They want that leadership. They want this push. They want to be stretched. So that's my commitment to make this happen between now and the end of the month to get to where I want to get to.
Okay, got it. And then Bob, let's just wrap up. Any nuggets, any words of wisdom to the team? You're doing awesome. So proud of you. What would you share with everybody? You know,
we've heard so much. I don't want to repeat what's been said already, but the reality that I notice is, you know, this is a person-to-person business, and it is relationship business. And what I've come to know, and hopefully I'll get to share some of this more in the future, that, we cannot make it about us. We really need to be there to serve people and to be willing to help them look at what it is they really want in their life, to kind of jar people out of their resignation about what's possible, and to have a conversation that empowers them to actually be willing to look at that. I think people have been so conditioned and so trained that this is just how it is. But to awaken that dream in people again, I think is a gift that we have. Jim Rohn said it so well, to lead people from darkness to light. That's a gift that we have as sponsors and bringing people into this amazing business that you've created. And just one other thing I want to share, Hutch, and that is, if I never went on a cruise, and I'm going in July, but if I never went on one, the call with Scott and the things that you're putting together and bringing to the table for us is worth way more than the price of admission. And I just want to thank you and acknowledge you for that. That was an amazing call.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay. Well, Abel, Liz, Bob, and the rest of the team, thank you. Thank you for being on today's call. There's tremendous value in these calls. My question is, where's the rest of your team? There was so much goodness on this call, and I would just encourage you to get the word out about it, let people know what they missed, and that this is going to be the focus of these mastermind calls. I wish you guys a wonderful, happy Friday. Today is my daughter Erin's birthday. I'm going to go wish her a happy birthday. Appreciate you guys. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, back with company presentations. Monday night, make sure that you're on. Lots of information that's going to be shared about the transition from the pre-launch to where we are. And again, congratulations to all of you with the presence that we have in 150 countries. And again, just stay focused, stay persistent, and be the toughest person in the room. We've got 8 days to the end of the month. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for jumping on the call. We'll speak to you soon. Thank you and good night.